Hi everybody, this is Doug Garza and we're back with another video here. So I am behind on my upload queue for videos. So there's about, I want to say 9 videos that are still waiting to be edited that will be uploaded after this, but were recorded before this. But we're not going to worry too much about it. I just want to get that out of the way so you know why there hasn't been a lot of uploads in the last few days. There hasn't been a lot of notifications on Twitter and that kind of stuff. Anyways, the point of this video is we're going to talk about a few of the plans going forward, the changes, and kind of a little bit of explanation of what I was talking about and why not to panic fully when you hear some of the stuff. So for the first thing is we are dropping 1.7.10 support with the exception of a few mods. The few mods will be ICBM2 will probably continue getting some fixes and content for 1.7 for a decent amount of time. I am going to be rewriting that for 1.12. That's the reason why it'll get some little bit of bug fixes, as the version for 1.12 will not be the same. Will probably not even be named the same mod actually in 1.12. Still working on that, so don't quote me on any of this at the moment. Assembly line will still get some work because there's stuff I still need to finish. Same for atomic science stuff I still need to finish. And Armory will probably still getting some work because anything we make for Armory is very easy to port to newer versions because it's almost all JSON generated content. So there'll only be mod working on. Anything other than that is probably only going to receive bug fixes if it's a serious problem. If it's just graphical issues or language issues, I apologize. I'm not going to fix it. If you guys want to pull request changes, I will accept pull requests to older versions, and I will still produce builds for older versions if we get changes in pull requests. So if you're a mod developer who want to learn to do mod development and you want to fix these older versions, go ahead and have fun. I'm not going to stop you. Other than this, Voltz Engine might as well be dead. So I'm dropping support for Voltz Engine. This has a lot to do with my change in development attitude when it comes to working on mods. I really wanted to make Voltz Engine work. I really wanted to make it a thing, and built this content creation engine that you built mods with and didn't have to update your mods between versions. That was the inevitable goal when I first set out to make it. That was the plan from the start, is to do something like that. I flipped back and forth my plans a few times, but more or less that was at its core, was to build a system that we could very easily make mods, very easily get those mods updated, very easily produce new content, and so on and so on. I still have that plan going forward beyond this point, but I don't see that happening with Voltz Engine anymore. Voltz Engine has become a very bloated, messy system with spaghetti code and a lot of different components that have been forced together that don't really fit together very well. So what I've decided to do is stop using Voltz Engine. I also want to stop using it because I don't want the Voltz name attached to my core mod anymore. This has nothing to do with the whole Technic thing. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while. I made the mistake of calling it Voltz Engine, and people believe that Voltz Engine has everything to do with Voltz, when in reality it has nothing to do with Voltz. It is literally just a name that we put on something. I don't know what we're going to name our core going forward. I have a few thoughts of what I want to do. So we'll still end up having a core. But what's going to happen with Voltz Engine is I'm going to be chopping it up into libraries, frameworks, different components that will be recycled and reused between all of our mods. So this is something I have actually been thinking about doing for the last year. It is kind of the reason why, if you actually go and try to find Voltz Engine, you will not find Voltz Engine on our BuiltBrokenModding system. You actually have to go to the Voltz Engine project. I'm going to still call it the Voltz Engine project, but this is all going to be cut apart into different parts. It's already kind of that way. You'll have noticed, I think this happened last year, is that I started chunking out pieces like prefab, lib, mod compatible and stuff in their own little modules. This is kind of going to be kept about the same, so we're still going to have a mod compatibility, but things like the lib access, which have already been partially gutted out, are going to fully become their own independent library that is not dependent on any other code but Minecraft and Forge and stuff. The reason behind doing this is I do want this library to be used much more beyond my own mods. I am trying to build a very simple permission system that can be recycled in any mod for doing permission systems. I also want the global access system, which is in there, to be used by a lot more mods, and that was never going to happen with it being part of Voltz Engine. And the whole thing with the global access system, since a lot of people don't really know what it is, it's effectively a GUI you can open up, get access to, make your own little groups. Those groups can have, or you make what is called an access profile that has groups in it, that has users in it, that has permission nodes, and you can then attach that profile to various machines, sentry guns, and stuff, and you can create basically like a little faction system And you can have that globally shared across all of your worlds, across all your dimensions, across all your bases and everything else. And you update it in one place, it updates everywhere else and saves you tons of time. And effectively, it also creates a very simplistic friend system that is easy to access and easy to use. It doesn't involve chat commands. It doesn't involve you having to go into each individual tile and add somebody access-wise. That's one of the things with it, and I want that to be an own lib by itself so people have access to that ability. The same goes for our ModFlex system, which is our version of WorldGuard that's been in existence for a while. I want that to start becoming a more commonly used thing. We have other frameworks that exist as well. We have our JSON content generation system. I want to see that used more and often, so we're breaking that its own library. We have the node system, which is probably going to stay in our core mod. Even though I would like to see that used by more people, that is not something that I see other modders picking up easily and using. The same for our micro block system that we've been working on, the same for our power wire systems, our energy systems. There's a lot of stuff that probably will not see use outside of that. That stuff is going to stay in our core. We'll go ahead and clean that up and simplify it. We'll probably break off the pieces that we do see being reused. Those are going to be packaged independently on Curse, but will be shipped with Voltz Engine more than likely to prevent you having to download multiple different versions of the mod. We'll see how we want to plan to do distribution with that once we actually get down that trip. Likely what will end up happening is it'll probably be like our fluid library where there'll be an independent lib that you'll download. I regret to probably say that if that does happen, I'm not going to feel too bad, because the reality is a lot of people who do Minecraft now do use mod packs, so having to download maybe 10 different libraries for your mod pack is not that big of a deal. And if you do find that you are still down an individual, I'll try to figure out some system for you guys so it's not too big of a problem to actually get all of your stuff downloaded and working with stuff. But we're going to keep working on that, keep cleaning that up. We're probably going to junk things like the code generator. We're going to probably junk a lot of stuff that isn't useful anymore. So that's what would happen to Voltz Engine. As for the abstraction in general and stuff like that, because there is somebody who actually did mention this, asked if it was dead. It's dead in the sense that it's just, we're not going to be using the same plan moving forward. It's not dead fully. Outside of that, what other updates we got? We have some new models coming for Atomic Science. They're going to be implemented here pretty soon. We got a couple more mods coming out. Most mods are going to be updated 1.12, and that's about it for this news update. Keep it short, and I'll come back if I missed anything and make more videos. So see you guys later with more content and updates.